Welcome back to lesson 10 of our confirmation lessons. The lesson today is entitled Me Becomes We. And we're going to be focusing on what it means to become a member of the church and what taking an active role in the church means. Before we do this, I would like you to look up a scripture, and that scripture is James chapter 2, verses 14 through 18. And what I want you to do is reflect on this verse. So this part of your reflection is alone. I want you to think about what you feel like when you consider being part of our church. So hit pause and do this activity right now. It's really about orienting yourself around this idea of what you believe and how being part of the church may coincide with that. So hit pause now. After completing this activity, I would like you to look up another verse, and this is Luke chapter 19, verses 1 through 10. You may already be familiar with this story. It's the story of Zacchaeus. And we're trying to examine some of the components of Zacchaeus' faith and how that matches what we ask of in membership for the local church. If you don't have your own Bible, I at least want you to photocopy this section of verses or look it up online, copy it into a Word document and print it out, because I want you to be able to write on this. So I want you to read through the story first, and then I'd like you to reread it a second time. Okay, so you read it the first time, and that's just to orient yourself in the story. The second time, I want you to underline the time that Zacchaeus renounces wickedness, rejects evil, and repents of his sins. Those are part of our membership vows. So I want you to really see in the story where they play out. Then I want you to do a third and final reading through and list out the ways that he trusted in Jesus and promised to serve Jesus. And also where he experienced assurance that Jesus forgave him for all his sins. Okay? So those are the three readings. One to orient yourself, one to look at how he rejected and renounced evil and sin, and then one to look at where he experienced assurance and promised to serve Jesus. This really does mimic our membership vows. And the story of Zacchaeus gives us kind of like a micro glimpse of what the membership vows are and how they work out. There's another way to put some of this, and the founder of the Methodist Church, John Wesley, if you remember, had 3 simple rules, which we have distilled down as time has gone on to 3 small and easy to remember statements. Those rules are: first, do no harm. We accomplish this by avoiding evil. Second is do good. It's not just enough to avoid doing evil, but we're to actually engage in doing what is right. And the third and final one is to stay in love with God. Or in other words, continue to have a relationship with God. This helps us understand, again, our relationship with God is a two-way street, something that develops over time. Through the membership vows and through the teachings of John Wesley, you will become a member of something greater than yourself in 3 simple steps. We've talked often about the Methodist Church history and overall, and the local church history is no different. And what I mean by that is we looked at some of the times where the Methodist Church has done great things and then some times where it did harm. That happens in every local church as well. There are times when we do good, and there are times where we miss the boat and we fall flat on our face. There are times we don't foster a connection with God, and sometimes when we think that's our only purpose. So every relationship, every commitment has its benefits and its detractions. When we join the Methodist Church, it's because we feel called to make a profession of faith in this local body. We believe in who Jesus is and what Jesus has taught, and we believe in this particular church's expression of that faith. So the question becomes, can you accomplish what you believe God would like you to do and who God would like you to be by being a member of the United Methodist Church? So I want you to take time to reflect on that this week. We're coming up on the time where you will need to make a decision. And I would like you to have thought it out and wrote down exactly what you think. So have a blessed week.